Welcome back to another video here on your Auto Enthusiast. What's up, y'all? I can't start the video like that. What is up? Welcome back to another video, another Vlogmas episode here on Euro Auto Enthusiast. Today I'm out here with the Stelvio QV, and I realize it's been a little over 6 months since I took ownership of this car, and I kind of wanted to just share the things that I like and don't like about it, and whether this, I feel, has been a good purchase, or should I have gone with the X3M competition. So let's just get right into what I like about the car. Look, I'm going to be honest. This car gets a lot of compliments, and I know it has to be because of a couple of different things. Number one, the styling cues. It is very, very unique styling, especially from the front. What other car do you see that has that V-shield? There is not another car. Alfa Romeo is the car that's known to have that. Now, the second major thing, if you don't see it already, as we have the sun behind me emitting its rays onto the surface, it's the paint. It is the Alfa Rosso paint. That red, it just pops. This is a flat paint. This is not a metallic paint, so you don't see any flakes in here. But the red, oh my gosh, the way it hits, it is a beautiful, beautiful red. For it to be the size vehicle that it is, you would think when driving it, you're driving a car. I literally would think driving this that I'm driving the Giulia QV. It is a planted vehicle. Granted, I don't like how high it sits up. We're doing something about that, so no worries. But this thing is a beast. It is a beast on the road. It rides very good. What helps this thing out is the fact that it does have the Q4 system. It is all-wheel drive. That helps put the power down, and man, does it put down some power. 505 horsepower, and I don't even remember what the torque specs are. I have to put those numbers, I had to put the numbers down here on the screen, but it is a beautiful car. That is the thing that I absolutely love about it. Now, if you don't know much about Stelvios, and maybe you've seen some on the road and can't decide or decipher when you would see a QV versus maybe a TI, a Sport, or a Competizione, or even the Veloce, one, they're going to say it. Two, they're not going to have the Quadrifoglio or Clover. They're not going to have this Clover badging on here. So if you see one, a black one, blue, green, red, or white with that on there, yeah, you're looking at the one with a 2.9 liter V6 engine. That is a Ferrari inspired V6 engine. So it is, yeah, it moves. Now, back to the back side of it, I like how it looks from the rear. Now, mine looks different from a lot of them out there. If you happen to have seen the Madness Autoworks video before this one, then you will have seen those two wings that were test fitted on there. So we have the roof wing or roof spoiler, and we have the mid wing, so or mid spoiler. So they're both carbon fiber. They both look very well. They make the car stand out very nicely in the rear, and I like how this is designed up top with the cutouts in it. If I have to say, this reminds me of what Maserati did to their SUVs, so I want to say that is a play off of that. It is very nicely styled in the rear with this diffuser, and that is a dual exhaust setup with the quad pipes or quad tips. So off the bat, we have the contrast stitching that I love that is in here. The red contrast stitching. You see carbon fiber in the door. There's plastic here, but it's leather. It's leather. Harman Kardon stereo system. It bangs. It is a very good system. And let's get to the seats. Let's move this out of the way. You got to see the Alcantara inserts on the seat. And let me tell you, the red contrast stitching is not something that was found. I think they said they stopped doing it in 2020. This is a 2020, and they stopped doing it after this. You only had just all leather, and you just had the black stitching. You do have red, I want to say you have green, and white are the contrast stitching for this that they did prior to. I believe that I was informed from Cody at the Alfa Romeo Maserati dealership that they did bring this back for the 2024 model. So that is good. But as you can see, it's plenty of carbon fiber here, plenty of leather all over the place. Carbon fiber in the center console, the trim pieces, and all the red stitching, full leather all the way across, and a nice leather steering wheel. And we've got some steering column mounted paddles. I like the aluminum. You may have seen me touch the carbon fiber ones in the shop. I like those too, but honestly, I really like the contrast with the aluminum. And then you've got this aluminum down at the bottom and that plastic in the middle of the V. If I've got to say one thing I don't like about the car, it is the steering wheel, but I will get into that in a moment and tell you why. But yes, very, very, very nice and roomy. It's all throughout, no stone left unturned when it came to the red stitching, carbon fiber, and leather. You can see the red cloverleaf or quadrifoglio right there. And as they did in the back too, you have Alcantara inserts, beautifully spec'd. And if you're in the rear, you got vents. You got vents, and there is some USB-C, some USB ports back there. All right, let's get into the trunk, because if you're looking at space, you got plenty of space back here. So, oh man, let me zoom that back. Zoom that back out. So this is the trunk space. Of course, I got stuff back here, but yes, decent sized trunk space. Of course, those seats go down. You actually can let these seats down from back here and up front as well. You got 12-volt DC charging back here, and I think this is another one. What is that? Nope, that's just some kind of hook. That's just a hook for something else. But let the seats down. That is not a CD changer, y'all. That is not a CD changer. That's a fuse box. All right, here is your setup here. We've got my Fantic jump box, and we also have the tire inflator, or the tire pump or air inflator. And I think we got some type of, yep, that is a tire sealant. So that's like an emergency setup there. What is this? Some screws or something. Okay, cool. Screwdriver, tow hook, and it looks like there may have been an Allen key or something else that was in here, but that is no longer in here. That's typically what happens when you're not the you're not the first owner of the vehicle. They keep stuff, souvenirs, or just never put it back. That's no word. But as you can see, there is no spare tire. What is under here? Not a spare tire. That is your battery. So yes, that is where that is. And as I mentioned before, you can, of course, let the seats down for more room. If you got bigger items that need to go back here, but trunk space, I think that is pretty decent. Okay, another thing that I really like, the wheels. The wheels are super nice. I like that these are 19-inch alloy wheels. These are actually rotary forged wheels, 19-inch rotary forged wheels. And you've got a big brake setup. You've got Brembo on here, but let me tell you, super expensive. I'll get into that shortly. That is a 6-piston caliper setup in the front, and then in the rear you have a 4-piston caliper setup on both sides, and then of course up top that is a electronic parking brake there. So that is what's driving That is what's breaking, rather. That is what's breaking this system. These are 19-inch wheels. These are 20-inch wheels. It is a staggered setup, wider wheel in the rear, a bigger and or wider wheel in the rear versus the front. That is typically your staggered setup. This is a, just off the tire size, 285/40 ZR20. I believe that is a 255. Which one is this? This is a, 255/45 ZR20 up here. Okay, now while we're on the brakes, let me get into the things I don't like. I absolutely do not like the brake-by-wire system. What I don't like is the fact that once you have, and it happens oftentimes, I'll apply the brake, it's just a light application to the brake. However, when I come off the brake, it hasn't released the brake. So it is almost like it's stuck and there's a delay in releasing the brake. I absolutely cannot stand that. When I first got the car, it was very, very, very sensitive driving this car when it came to the brake, because I'm used to driving other cars with a hydraulic system. So the downside, or the flip side to this, is once I have gotten used to driving this, I forget when I'm driving the M3, I've got to apply a lot more brake pressure to that car, because it is not a brake-by-wire system. Plus, these are beefier brakes than what is on the M3, so I have to be careful when I do that. What else do I not like about this system? What I don't like is, I don't like that I can't control the valves on the exhaust. Now, with that said, it's so weird that I actually had set this to dynamic, and the flap still did not even open. So I don't know if it was going through a cold start sequence, because it was much louder than that normally at start. There is a solution to that I will acquire here at a later date to be able to control the valves. What I will say is, I'm probably not going to replace the exhaust. It's super expensive to replace the exhaust. I don't think I'm getting any performance, like any serious performance gains from doing that. So maybe I'm saving a little bit of weight, but not enough for me to spend, you know, anywhere between $3 to $5 grand on exhaust. And then plus, by the time you do all the other things to get everything dialed in with that, I'm good. So I think stock is good. Maybe doing something with the resonators, some kind of resonator delete or something like that might be down the line. So as long as I can control the valves, that's what I'm wanting to do. I'm not going to get into all the driving modes and things like that today. I didn't want to get too in depth with today's video, but I just wanted to share that. Now back to the things that I talked about that I don't like. What I don't like is the steering wheel. The bowstring is really, really thin in comparison to what I'm used to with the BMW. Yeah, I just like the thick bowstring. Now, can I upgrade the steering wheel? Of course. Madness Auto Works has some. Alfisimo has some. Just QV, I believe, has some. So there's a few other companies that I can get them from. In the meantime, I can always do just like the little carbon fiber inserts, as far as just kind of sprucing this up a little bit. I think it looks okay. I like that. Back to I like that it has a steering wheel mounted start stop button. It is that is like Ferrari-esque. I really like that. But I think it could use some carbon bits. Again, I don't have to necessarily change that. The paddles, I like the paddles the way they are, that contrast, and I really like that. Everything in here, with the exception of that, there's probably really very few things that I dislike about this car. That just happens to be one of them. I mean, I think there's very few things that I dislike about the car. I mean, here's another like. There is the panoramic sunroof. It is not all the way open, in fact. So let me open the back half up so you can really see what's happening. So there is a full panoramic roof. It looks amazing. I like how that looks. There's a lot about this car that I absolutely like. There's just some few things that I dislike, and you already know one of them. I dislike that somebody did something to the drain plug bolt that is seized and stuck. So maintenance has been a nightmare getting oil service done, which I can do. It was easy to access the oil filter under the hood, under the air box. So far so good as far as getting to things and even getting to the drain bolt underside, but that was terrible. One more dislike about the brakes. The brakes are expensive. I'm going to tell you that right now. Having to do the brakes are super expensive as far as genuine parts. Right now, I don't have to do anything with the front rotors or pads. We got plenty of life there, and we're looking good as far as the lip. There is no lip on the surface of the front rotor. However, in the rear, I am in fact waiting on genuine rotors to come in from Alfisimo. I said they're on the boat, and we've got a little bit of a lip there, and we definitely are low on. Are we low on pad? Yeah, we definitely we definitely low on pad there. I actually have the pads. They're probably in the box. I have the pads in the box. I'm waiting on the rotors to come in stock. But yeah, the rotors, they're expensive. The Brembo brake pads, that was the thing that was super expensive about these two. The Brembo brake pads, I was told were expensive because of the way they're made and because that it has the built-in wear sensor. I don't know how true that is, but god dog, I'm not gonna get into the price on them. They're even more expensive up front as far as those brake pads, but I did go with a different brand that is a racing brake setup. So hopefully I'm not dealing with a lot of squealing, because that's the only thing about racing pads versus street pads. The track pads, because of the material, it does end up causing for a lot of squeaking. So I'm hoping that I'm not dealing with that on here. I actually do deal with that already with the brakes. So that's kind of a thing that I don't like. When they're cold, they're squeaking pretty badly. So overall, what are my thoughts about owning the Alfa Romeo Stelvio QV versus buying the X3M comp that I really wanted? I gotta say I am not disappointed. I see my fair share of X3M vehicles and even X3M comps. I see my fair share of them. Do I see a lot of these? I absolutely do not see a lot of these. Not only do I not see a lot of Stelvios in general, I don't think I have come across one QV since I have been here. I might be mistaken. I may have come across one. Did see one when I was in Wisconsin, a white one. I want to say there was a blue one that I saw within that first week, and that's it. That's the most that I have seen of the Stelvio QV. Have I seen my share of Giulias? Yes, I have. Not that many Giulia QVs. With having something that stands out against everything else, that is a huge win. The other win is, man, it is fast. It is fast. This thing is absolutely it is fast. I hardly ever drive it in race mode. I've only done that a couple of times, but for the most part, dynamic is about as much as I have gotten into driving this, and I'm only doing that more recently just because of another device that I purchased recently. Save that for another video. As for what I did to help with this car's capability. If I had to do it all over again, would I buy it? Man, I'm not gonna lie, that is a tough question. It is a tough question. While I'm enjoying it, I am enjoying it. And I thought to myself it would be a challenge, which I'm following through with that challenge now. I thought it would be a challenge because of the support, the aftermarket support. And because of the challenge with just getting genuine parts, the support even at the dealership, I've got to say no. I have to say no. The experiences that I've had recently trying to get genuine parts and get part numbers, and you know, it's very difficult to even try to shop around, but just the resistance I'm getting with simple things as a consumer trying to do business with the brand, I absolutely don't like that at all. So if based on that I had to do it again, no, I wouldn't buy it. I would definitely go with BMW just because of the partnerships that have been created with the dealerships and the other companies, the aftermarket companies that provide so much support for that brand, for BMW. So that's the strike against Alfa in this particular case. Granted, they've only been back in the States since 2015, if I'm correct, if not 2017, that they've been back. So they left for a while, they've come back. You know, I don't know what sales are doing right now. I haven't followed them like that. I'm, you know, fairly new to the company, 6 months in. So there's a lot that I need to learn about with this car. And maybe it's just because I'm stateside. Maybe if I was in Italy, maybe if I was across the pond in Europe, anywhere, maybe the support would be a little different and I would have a different take on it. So overall, would I buy the car? For pure enjoyment and looks, and just the fact that it is different, and the fact that I have enjoyed it, and it hasn't really given me any problems, of course, I would definitely buy the car. But again, I'd have to say, based on what I'm finding with the limited aftermarket support, man, it's tough to say that I would pull that trigger going backwards 6 months to looking at it, and maybe just waited. Maybe I would have just waited out on getting the X3M comp. Maybe I would have. But as of right now, what I can tell you is I am happy that I do own it. I'm happy that I'm learning more things about it. Look, different isn't bad. Different isn't bad, and running into challenges with new things in life, that is not a bad thing at all. I have to tell you that if you're running from challenges or running from new things and running from trying to make a better or trying to become a better version of yourself, you're just going to remain damaged. You're just going to remain unhealed and not recognizing that you're not your best self. And I think just getting this car was a huge example of me taking a chance at something that was totally different. That in and of itself is how life works. And I have to say that all things considered, I'm not upset that I bought the car. All things considered about decisions I made in life, I'm not upset about the decisions that I made. They've been made. It's done. It's over. I just have to learn from that and move forward. Use the wisdom, the knowledge that has been gained from it, and continue the process of healing, continue the process of becoming my better version. And with that said, life only gets greater at that point, because I'm giving myself a chance and I'm being transparent, not only with myself, but with everyone else around me. With that said, guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode today here on Your Auto Enthusiast. As always, look, show up for yourself, love yourself. You have to do it for you first before you can do it for anybody else. And in the meantime, while you're doing that, enjoy the holidays. Get out, enjoy the beautiful weather if you're having it. Just enjoy, be in the moment, be present with whatever is happening. If it's snowing where you are, just get out and enjoy the snow, or enjoy the warmth of your home and the coffee or the tea or whatever it is you're drinking. You know, snuggled up in the blanket with your loved one, or just watching a movie with your. Hey, how you doing? I am good. Beautiful dog.
Oh, thank you.
What is it?
It's an Australian Shepherd.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, but it's just cut in real life.
Oh my gosh!
Beautiful.
Right, that's why I didn't recognize it. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
That is beautiful.
Not supposed to do that, but I'm done.
I'm not judging. Do you think?
Thank you.
Have a blessed one. Yeah. Oh my God, that's a beautiful dog. Yeah. Just snuggle up, enjoy your coffee, your tea, your whatever it is, your crumpets, your Rice Krispie treats, your cookies, whatever it is y'all are making for the holidays. I need some chocolate covered pretzels. That's what I need. Yeah, that's what I need. I had some good ones the other day from HEB. Got to get some more. But that's it. I'm out of here. In the meantime, y'all know what to do. Keep driving. Salute. All right. I got to get me since I don't have any pretzels, I can get me a lemon Oreo. How about that? Ha ha. Yeah. And before I pull off this, how that's supposed to sound. those are Astons. That's a Genesis.